It is time for Didn't See That Coming. This is where we look at a headline that we never thought we would see. So if you ever wondered if we're already living in the future, I would say look no further than this headline. Florida Attorney General launches OpenAI criminal probe, says chat bot an accomplice in FSU shooting. Yeah, so investigators say that the chatbot had detailed interactions with the suspect in last year's deadly Florida State University shooting and left 2 people dead, 6 others injured. And prosecutors claim that those chat logs included questions about firearms and ammunition and even how lethal a weapon could be. And the Attorney General is going as far as to say if ChatGPT were a person, it could be facing murder charges. Now, subpoenas have been issued to ChatGPT's parent company, OpenAI, demanding internal policies, training materials, even a full breakdown of who's behind the chatbot. And this is all happening as the suspect in that shooting faces multiple counts of murder. There's apparently a civil action against the company. The family of at least one victim says they plan to sue. Now, OpenAI has previously said that safety is central to its design, that it continues to update its systems to prevent harm. But when a machine responds to an alleged murderer, who's responsible? I'm bringing in Michael Stanisi. He's the vice president of LexIve, a company that helps lawyers serve their clients better. He also knows a lot about mass tort law. Thanks so much for coming on. So is there a legal theory by which either ChatGPT, OpenAI, or let me just throw it out there, a chat bot could be held criminally liable?
Yeah, I mean, there's kind of 2 theories, like you mentioned before, Jesse. There's the civil side and then there's the criminal side. We'll go into the Florida Attorney General right now. They're using criminal aiding and abetting statute. So like you said, to keep it really simple, if a human gave this kind of advice to a shooter, that human, that person would be charged with murder. And then on the civil side, when you have Betty Morales, her lawsuit is more akin to like a product liability, a negligence claim. So alerting authorities when you know something dangerous is happening. And likely underpinned by something called AI sycophancy, which is essentially that AI is very agreeable. And so it's going to keep answering questions without digging in and figuring out whether or not OpenAI's chatbot could be liable because it didn't actually flag or alert authorities or even stop the chat.
So just to be clear, we're not dealing with a situation, as much as we talk about artificial intelligence and being independent, that somehow there is a trial against ChatGPT, the chat bot. It has an opportunity to present its defense. I mean, we're not quite there yet, right?
Correct. This is more, the defendant himself is actually going to be OpenAI. This is not going to be ChatGPT defending itself in court. That was a different case, but this is going to be a situation where you're really looking at 2 very, very real charges against OpenAI. Like I said before, one of them being a civil suit and one of them be a criminal action saying that OpenAI is the primary defendant against itself.
By the way, if a company...
Very similar to Purdue.
Yeah, and if a company is held criminally liable, what is it? Fines? Is it probation? Is it forfeiture of assets?
Honestly, it's going to be up to the court. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be a situation where they can hold very different individuals accountable from top down. I was going to mention before, like the Attorney General actually compared this to a pharmaceutical case called Purdue Pharma, and that entire corporation faced criminal and civil liability.
So what kind of precedent would this set? Because it's interesting, as this technology is developing, we're seeing a lot of these lawsuits and a lot of this legal action, a lot of these legal questions happening relatively soon. But if something were to develop here in Florida, what kind of precedent could it set for these kind of, AI learning language models moving forward?
Yeah, everyone's going to be watching this, Jesse. We have, I think, about 3 different layers that come to mind, right? You have the users themselves, right? So there's a duty of care to the actual users, the third parties that could be harmed by AI-assisted violence. And then you have the accountability of reporting. So what kind of requirements are needed to be built in when AI detects any sort of threats? Is this very similar to, say, like a child abuse case?
Right.
And then, is it a crime? That's the third layer, right? So legislative action in Florida and other states are going to define what these statutes really look like in AI facilitated crimes, if they even are crimes.
That's a good point, and the flagging is really interesting too. Kind of different, but I mean, you're dealing with very serious subject matter here with serious consequences. So, Michael Stanisi, we will see where this goes. Always appreciate you coming on. Thank you, sir.
Love it. Thank you.